Advisory. I want to call the Oceano Advisory Council meeting to a formal start for September 16th. First thing on our agenda here is the roll call. So I will do the roll call starting with myself, Aline Villa, Chair, present. Councilmember Barney.
Here.
Councilmember Lucia is here. Councilmember Dury is here, I know. Councilmember Karen Wright
is here, sort of.
Okay, so we just have Sheila missing. I'm sure she said she had an appointment, so she might be just getting back. Next, we have the flag salute. Would anybody like to lead us in the flag salute? I'll go ahead.
I pledge allegiance
to the planet
the United
and
States
to
of
all
America,
creatures that it supports, the fish, the animal, my beloved family, with all liberty and freedom and justice for all. That's my pledge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next, we have the guest reports, and first of what I have is county planning, and I believe Emmy is here. Emmy?
Yeah, hi. I don't have anything to update you on in terms of projects for South County. I sent you the updated project list that we discussed last time. The only modification to that is that we do have a planner who is leaving. Cindy Chambers is moving to a different division. So that project that she was the project manager on, you can direct questions to me.
Okay. So you don't have anything new to report to us on that package? We did receive it. There was like 6 of them on there.
Yeah, so those are being forwarded to you simply for your review. So if you want to put them on your agenda for discussion, and if you have any questions on any of them, then I'd be happy to answer them. But I don't have anything other than just those referral packages to give you.
Oh,
Okay, so what we normally do is that we talk about, if we have questions about this, we talk about it now so that you can leave the meeting.
Mhm.
And I had the referral package like under your topic there.
Okay.
So I didn't put like a specific one for referrals, but I think most of us got a chance to look at the referral packages, right? I sent it out 2 or 3 times.
yes, there were a lot of them. Yep.
There were like 6, yes. And I think a new one that came out separately than that.
Karen White has a question on this.
Yeah, I can't open them. What program is it on? I can't seem to open them. It's not on doc. It's not on.
Oh, okay, so they should be visible through a internet viewer for any sort of PDFs that you're able to open. We use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge typically. The other option is any kind of Adobe PDF reader.
Yeah, well, I don't have any of that. So
Okay. And if it's required for you to have hard copies, just let us know and we can make those available to you too.
okay, I'll see if I can find some way to get them open.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Go ahead, Karen.
Have we looked at that? Do we have any information on that project on Bell Ridge that I think we need to really study if we can get it on the agenda or something? That one, I couldn't open it, so I don't know, but it was 27 more apartments on Bell Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
And that vitally concerned me. And I don't know if we've gotten that package or not.
And that is the Grunt for, I believe, apartment complex there for 4 2-story mixed-use buildings. That one, no additional information has been submitted. It is currently on information hold, and we did just send out a request to the applicant to kind of update us on the status so we know if they want to withdraw or not, since they haven't replied, and I believe it's over a year at this point.
Um,
Mhm.
That, isn't that the one on Highway 1? The mixed-
That, oh, that's the one on Front Street. You're talking, sorry, I apologize. You're talking about Brillman, Oceano, the 27 apartment units.
Yes,
That one is still on information hold as well. They haven't had any new responses back yet, but I can inform the project manager to put those and make them available online through our portal once they do resubmit.
okay, because I'm very, very, very concerned about the addition of that much more density on a very small street that is very high density and is a hazard. Because truly, 5 Cities Fire Authority already on certain times can't get a fire truck down that road. And you've got 3-story apartment complex buildings side by side by side by side with inability for fire trucks to even get in there if people are parked. It's a
Okay,
very, very, very badly designed situation for Oceano.
okay.
Thank you.
And,
I
Can
have
I-
my hand up.
oh, sorry.
Yes, were you done, Emmy, responding?
I,
Okay, all right.
uh,
Next up is Charles and then Lucia. I was wondering, Emmy, on the catering truck service permit. I went through it. I mean, not every little P&I, but I didn't see in there that they were going to be selling out of a food truck on the property.
Mhm.
Is that planned as well?
So that was a question that I had, and I had sent in their information request. Their response is that they are planning on doing that, and I just have to still review and see if that's allowed by county code, since we are pretty strict about where those can be located. So
Mhm.
that's still under review, but that's their proposal.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, next up is Lucia. Very sorry. Next up is Lucia. Lucia, you're on. It looks like she may be having,
yes,
okay, go ahead, please.
no. Uh,
Lucia, you're breaking up. Let's move on to April.
Hey there, I just wanted to thank you, Emmy, the spreadsheet that you sent us with those list of projects, to have the link embedded in it that takes us directly to the county website. Spectacular. Thank you for that extra help.
No problem.
Do we have any further questions? I don't see any hands up, but I do. I want to echo what Karen said. That street is a very small, short street that has tons of apartments already on there. I'm not sure if those apartments that are going to be proposed there are going to be for sale. I would like it. I was thinking about it. If I own property anywhere near there, I would hate to have all those apartments when it's already a crowded street with all these vehicles. I would rather them be condos. Hike up the price on the condo because it's less, more elegant and bigger square footage, and not have as many apartments just literally with cars parked all over your street. I would like to
Okay.
see there be type of condo where you have a garage underneath and park your car in there.
Okay, so it sounds like we have parking and fire lane access concerns happening both there. That definitely, okay. And is it okay if I really quickly derail a bit here? Generally, when we're reviewing these projects, do you all put them on your agenda as separate individual items too? Okay, so then, and are you planning on doing that for each of these and then submitting a response letter with each of these questions and concerns, or?
usually the way I do it, I think it's the way it's been done. I'm not sure, but especially if they're like projects that are very important, it's given just individual attention for that day, maybe one or two individually. And then the responses are, we ask the questions to you and then you give it
Okay.
to us when you appear.
Okay, and that's just kind of what I wanted to know. So I wanted to know if your responses are verbal, then I'll create a letter basically, and I'll see if that works for you all. But what we typically see is either that you'll have a response back to the referral package, just kind of marking, yes, we had comments, or no, we voted to approve it. Or if you have additional questions, that you can still say we're pending kind of re-review based on responses to these specific questions. But if you want me to take on the questions, that's a-okay. I just want to make sure that I'm writing those down then and getting them to the correct people by the correct dates, if that's the process. Since I know it's a little different for each advisory
If there's
committee.
no rush for you, you
Oh,
would let us know, I have, I'm gonna talk about this project or whatever.
yeah, perfect.
But, and then I have one more question on that, on Pier Avenue. So it's gonna be like a commissary type of thing. So there's not gonna be any access. I forgot I think I asked you this question and I forgot before. Are people gonna be able to go in there and sit down and kind of dine?
Right. So again, that's something that I asked because I didn't have a full project scope with the original submittal. So it seems like what they're trying to propose is patron seating outdoors. And I think it would be associated with the food trucks that would be parked there rather than with the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
But the kitchen, I think, would be restricted to just preparation for off-site consumption.
Any further questions? Karen?
Karen White.
Yeah, in the past, we have taken that package and looked at it and written comments with it and sent it back to the county.
Okay.
That's how it has been done in the past. So that we actually kind of vote on the project. If we approve it, we actually vote to approve it after looking at the plans. Of course, that was when we had real meetings. And maybe we could go back and do that when we have real meetings. I mean, meetings in person. Because once you get together and you actually physically all sit down together and look at the plans. And one person might see something another person would see. And I think it's rather than just depending on us doing it online. My thought, thank you.
Okay,
I have my hand up
go ahead, Charles.
to piggyback on Karen. I think that it's really our responsibility to come up with a written statement of our comments and concerns about each project and not rely on Emmy to be taking notes and trying to get it, straight. I think that's really our job. And then to communicate it to her. So, and I think we need to have them agendized. I don't think that this is, and we can talk offline about where it is in the agenda. We can see how a meeting could take half an hour or whatever for a project if we're really getting into the nuts and bolts of it. And Commander Klingenberg is sitting around waiting to have dinner with his wife and stuff. So just in terms of all of that kind of logistics, we need to do some better, I think, arranging of stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, that's on our shoulders to get you the comments that I think we want to have there, Emmy.
Okay.
Thank you, Charles.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Any more questions? Being none, we'll continue with our agenda. Next, we have county code enforcement. We haven't had anyone here for that for a while. So Commander Wells, you're up. I mean, Klingenberg. I'm sorry, you're not.
No problem. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate your consideration. Don't worry about it. If you have meetings to conduct, I totally understand. But I appreciate your consideration. Thank you. Hello, neighbors, again. And I apologize. Last month I wasn't here. My wife was unexpectedly in the hospital. She's doing fine. We're all back on track, but that's why I missed last month's meeting. I want you to know that I take these seriously, and I apologize for for missing that. That was just something that I couldn't avoid. So
Of course.
Yeah,
that's what happened. So for the month of August, for the Oceano area, we had 4 collisions and 1 DUI arrest. The first collision occurred on Highway 1 south of Elm Street. That was a 2-vehicle non-injury collision that involved a hit and run. Actually, a vehicle sort of backed up into a stopped vehicle and then fled the scene. The victim or any witnesses were unable to provide a license plate of the suspect vehicle in that case. So as of yet, we have not located a suspect. The second collision was on Highway 1. We talked about Bell Ridge Street. This one was actually on Highway 1, just north of Bell Ridge Street. This was a 4-vehicle minor injury collision. Looks like it was a rear end collision where 2 vehicles hit each other, and then they struck a couple of parked vehicles that were in the vicinity of Bell Ridge there. But minor injury, just complaint of pain only in that collision. The third collision was on Halcyon Road, north of Highway 1. This was a solo vehicle collision where a trailer became separated from the vehicle that was towing it and struck a wood fence. Again, no injuries in that. The trailer became separated from the truck and struck a wood fence off on the shoulder of the roadway there. Fourth collision, also no injuries in this one. This was a 2-vehicle collision that occurred on Warner and 19th Street in the intersection there, where a right-of-way was violated, but minor damage and no injuries in that collision. Then we had a DUI arrest in the vicinity of Halcyon and Produce Place early on in the month. It looks like nothing significant about that one. But like I said, 4 collisions, 1 DUI arrest for the month of August in Oceano. And any questions for me?
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
The last month, your substitute, who was a very charming, affable fellow, we talked about getting one of the flashing, you're going this fast,
Yes.
temporary
Yes.
things right on before King Tessa down there, before people come in.
Yep.
Coming off the straightaway into the turn. And he said he was going to look into that, and none of us can recall seeing it there at all this month. So
Yeah, and it hasn't been placed there. He told me about that. Here's my issue with that. So we have 2 of those, we call them radar trailers, assigned to our general vicinity. I share those 2 radar trailers with 4 different areas. I also have an additional request for the radar trailer in my area, out in the east of the Pismo Beach area. Old Oak Park Road has requested that as well. The problem is with the 2 trailers, one of those trailers is not working. It's inoperable, and they're attempting to fix it. However, it's not yet been fixed. So what I have is a lot of people asking for that to be used, and it's down, and it's only 1 trailer. So what I'm working on is just trying to get that trailer, and as soon as I can, then we will put it out there. The second thing that I like to do, we have, not sure if I've talked about this before, we have 2 new motor officers assigned to my area, motorcycle officers, and what they do on a fairly frequent basis, or I shouldn't say frequent, on a fairly regular basis, is they pick different locations in the San Luis Obispo area, and they work speed enforcement in requested areas or problem areas that we identify. And so that has been, this Highway 1 there in the vicinity of Contessa has been put on the list for our what we call special enforcement units. And so when that sort of goes through our rotation, they'll be down there working some speed there in that area. And so those are the two things that I'll be working on and getting that to happen there in that Highway 1 and Contessa area.
Great. Just one quickly, and I'll you and I can talk about this offline in more detail. But
Sure.
The advisory council has a task force on curb gutters and sidewalks in Oceano. And
Okay.
we have a goal of, we're going after a big multi-million-dollar grant to get sidewalks in so that no kid will be more than a block and a half away from a sidewalk to take them to Oceano Elementary School.
Sure.
And safety data is something that comes into that. And the people that we're working with are very knowledgeable and are aware of the TIMS data and all the highway patrol data. But I'll just want to chat with you offline a little bit with you, and I'll give your office a call and
Okay.
have a conversation about what
That would be great.
input you might like to have or comment.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Ask for me, and if you have specific requests about certain streets, or we certainly can look into that. And it might take us a little bit to go in depth into that, but yeah, give me a call.
Okay, all righty. And I see April, you have your hand up.
I do. I had a quick question still following up on the start of no parking.
Yeah, that I've completely screwed up for how many months now? Yeah, no, I know what you're
You
talking
said
about.
it, not me. I won't use screwed up, but it's been a months, yes.
Yeah. So now I know exactly, where we're talking about. Of course, I still now that, I need to talk with Josh over at Caltrans, and we'll get something going on that this month for sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Don't see any more questions.
Okay, it's good to see you all. I appreciate
Right.
it.
Thank you, Commander. And Emmy, we don't have any more referrals to speak about. You're free to go to dinner.
Excuse me, I missed my chance, and I don't know if you already talked about this, but I have a concern about that building on Strand Avenue that wants to build the second stories and a deck on top. Is this the right moment to talk about it?
Well, I just told Emmy she could leave and we are done with that agenda item.
Okay, then
But
fine.
there was no changes.
Okay.
April?
If we're having Emmy leave, I was wondering if Emmy was going to have more information about the spreadsheet that I sent her.
Yeah, sorry, I was just about to send you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that you were being told to, like, you're done here, so that's why I was asking.
Is it okay if I just go out of order there, Aline? I apologize.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, April, so I was able to start looking at that, but there are a number of inconsistencies that brings up. And so I'm just starting to comb through. What I found is that we have a few vacation rentals that were permitted in, I think, 2008 or so with just a zoning clearance versus what we require now, which is a minor use permit. So I'm trying to get the research of when we changed that requirement. And then on top of that, I want to make sure that if we do have some that are inconsistently marked on our business license versus our actual permitting, that I'm highlighting those and I'm keeping a good record of our research. So that way, if they do ever become code enforcement issues, our code enforcement staff won't have to do double the task of that. So that's kind of just why it's going a little slower than I thought it might, because it was a wonderful spreadsheet.
It's
and
not going slow at all. I'm not asking.
Okay.
I feel like you're under some time limit. You're not.
Oh,
managing,
no.
not at all. Just following up on it is all.
Okay, perfect. And then just so you all know, I just was coming through my emails, which is kind of why I stayed on here. There was one other kind of opportunity for you all to talk to someone. We had Christopher Moore, the local government liaison for the California Public Utilities Commission, reach out to us and see if any CACs were interested in having him come by and kind of give an overview of their role and just give general information. So is that something that would interest you all? If so, I can forward you on his contact information and you can kind of see what that's about.
As a presenter, yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, great. Let me go ahead and at the end of today's meeting, I'll go ahead and send that on to you so you can reach out and see when he's available. Okay, and with that, I am officially done and I will leave you to everything else. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have presentations. I don't believe we have any. So then we go further on to review and approval of minutes, and I hope that you were able to open my minutes this time.
Mhm.
Good. I get worried. It seems like the minutes tab is the one that I have more issues than anything with. And I think it's because I do the minutes before I do all the other, do minutes one day and then the second or third day do the rest of the stuff. And maybe it defaults back to restricted. I don't know. But so if so, can I have someone motion to approve the minutes? I'll give you a couple minutes to read the minutes, a couple of seconds, 30 seconds to read the minutes. And then I'll have someone motion.
I had my hand up. I had my hand up.
Go ahead.
Yes, I did have a question about the minutes. I remember that on both of the letters, our final decision, the letters both on Pier Avenue and the new budget request, or the old budget request, but the letter to the supervisors, on both we had decided to finalize them and review them. But in the minutes, it only says that we took that decision only on the Pier Avenue, letter.
I will have to look at the minutes myself again.
Look at the minutes, and it says the Pier Avenue, we decided to forward it to Karen and Casalinovo, and it would be finalized. We decided the same thing for the budget. And I haven't seen them, but I just saw today as I was coming home that April did forward them to us. So it has to be put in the minutes. Didn't you, April, send finally those two? Sorry if I heard you. I just thought maybe I had missed them. You did send them the Word documents today. Is that correct?
Yes,
April has her hand up. Let me hear what she has to say about that. I want to hear.
Go ahead, April.
Okay, well, I'm only going to speak when I'm recognized because that's what we agreed on in the last
Yeah,
meeting.
go
So I want to
ahead.
make sure that we understand that. So with that in mind, I was only raising my hand to agree with Lucia that it was two letters, not just the one. Under B1, it should be, under B1, it should be updating peer parking letter and
Yeah,
budget request letter.
right.
That's all. And so Lucia is absolutely right with that.
With the minutes, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make those changes.
Yes.
Any other changes for the minutes? So I'm not sure, I forget, do I table the approval of the minutes the next meeting after making the changes?
I move the minutes be accepted as modified.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I do. I second.
All those in agreement?
Aye.
I
aye.
Okay. Next on our agenda, we have the new business items, and I have website management. It's come up to me that we need someone to manage our website. I think it's more difficult than we thought, right, April?
That is correct.
And so I guess we would need to figure out who we're gonna hire. I don't know if James is up to the job. Then we would need funds to pay.
So I forwarded you all the letter that James wrote to me. it was extensive in terms of what he's willing to do. But doesn't, no, nobody remembers getting that?
I didn't get that.
thought
Did
it-
anybody else get that?
No,
Okay, well, let me, if I can share my screen, I'll show you the letter, or do you want me to resend it and we can rediscuss it? Madam Chair,
Well, you said it's extensive, so if it's extensive, I think you should resend it.
well, I'll definitely resend it. Let me,
I mean, but you could summarize, give us the gist of what the letter said, just make sure to send it to us and,
so, I'm just trying to find it here.
and then if you could, I think you should just resend it and we'll take your word for it that you have it somewhere, Charles, because those things can get lost and we're gonna spend, time here.
Okay,
Yeah, and then you're just gonna get a headache.
yeah, I see the mistake. I thought I was forwarding it to all of you, and I just sent it back to James.
Oh, okay,
Okay, I'll send that to you all right now, and then,
just give us a summary.
okay, so James says that, he's willing to do another training to, do some more teaching. He asked if the previous video, instructional videos were helpful, and I thought they were very helpful. I think that I can use them to manage some of the pages I'm interested in, perhaps, if I have access to the website. And he said that he could compile some other how-to pages, and that Squarespace has some forums to help. But I asked him if he had anybody else he could recommend for us to hire. He said he really didn't. He has a friend who does work for $75 an hour. He says he's pressed for time, but he said he can spare a few hours to help, and he's willing to do at least one more training as part of our original agreement. I apologize for not sending that to you all, my mistake.
I mean, the video, I thought it was straightforward and helpful, but one thing is like, when it looks like that, and then when you actually do something, you run into all kinds of like issues sometimes. So I don't know, who wants to take on the responsibility of managing our website. Maybe we can try posting documents and maybe we can, if we can master that, just do that. And then hire somebody else for something else that we want to put on there or alter, whatever. I don't know.
Mhm.
I just know I have enough issues just with Google Docs. It's like, like I said before, sometimes I think my gray hairs are turning purple and green. It's like, I don't understand. And then it's like, then I redo the link on the minutes and it works perfectly. So I'm thinking, maybe I don't know that there's like a certain default in Google that will take it back to restricted if you haven't touched that document in 24 hours or so for just security reasons. I don't know. So there's a lot to managing a website.
Lucia's hand is up.
Yes. I wanted to understand exactly what do you mean. I don't know. This is the first time I hear that that there are problems with the website. I mean, what do you mean by we need somebody to manage it? What do you mean by managing? Are you talking, because when we dealt with the OBCA website, we had somebody who updated it, in the sense that the app itself needs to be updated, or that things need to be added on. I don't know. But for the general uploading, once the meetings dates are set and they are recurrent, all there is to do, I suppose, is uploading documents. So do we need to hire somebody to upload the documents? I guess I don't understand what do you mean by managing the website. Would you please be more specific about that? I would like to hear from April. She is the one that has been working with the website. What is it that is that she can't do? Thank you.
April?
Until I'm recognized by the chair. I'm not going to speak. This is why we really should have reports ready for our meetings, because we're now minutes into a very basic topic. I no longer have interest to try to learn how to do the website. My time is limited and I have many other things that I'm much better at. So I am relinquishing my responsibility to the website. Anyone else is welcome to step up. I am willing to give some of my own money, which I told Charles, and I've never heard back from Charles from that conversation, that I'm willing to even pay my own money to the OAC to help afford this. But that's it. If anyone else feels it's this easy, please feel free to step up and take this on. I'd appreciate that.
Karen?
I'm just saying that I'm not even discussing this. I'm so far out of knowing how to do it, and I couldn't help you in any way, shape, or form. I can make cookies. Thank you.
Karen, you're too funny sometimes.
Well, I just need to say something.
Any further discussion?
I'm lost.
Go ahead, Charles.
Well, I think, James is willing to continue to help some. And I'm going to put more effort into learning my thing is wanting to add documents and copy to like the curb, gutter, and sidewalk page, which April set up. Thank you, April. And then, so without going into the weeds of what I need to do, I'm gonna, I'll get, I don't know, who gives access to the website to go in and work on it? Who has that? April, you obviously have that information.
Right, and when we met with James, the same password, we all sat together, so it's the same username and password if anybody wants it.
Okay,
That the chair says, I mean, that's easy.
okay.
And just to be very clear, I can upload documents, I can type, I can do all those things, but the aesthetic of the website deteriorates because I don't know what James did to make like a picture bigger or to make a picture show up, the aesthetics part. And I am not interested in learning the aesthetics of building a website. I can do product and information, but it's the making it look very nicely that takes hours, and I don't have that kind of time.
And I
I don't know what I'm doing.
I kind of agree with April that seeing someone do something that knows how to do it, Charles, sometimes just like with anything, they make it look so like when a painter, you see him paint, it's all like so lovely. You want to go paint your whole house and then you do it. And I have the same issue just with Google Docs. It's like, why isn't my link, and here I go again with the links, working when it's lit up? It doesn't make sense to me. If it's lit up, it should work. And then it works on my computer, but not necessarily on yours. And, just things like that. You can add a document, but then it's like April says, to make it the certain size, a certain font, it can be a little difficult, but if you could go ahead and try it, Charles.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead, Lucia.
Yes. Well, maybe if we had the money to hire this person that is $75 an hour, and if we hired him even just for an hour a month, let's say, and if we compiled all the documents and the changes that we want to make to the website, add the following document, add the following picture, I'm sure that in an hour he could do it.
Mhm.
But if we had a list of all the things that we want to do, and every month we turn it into him. But this is the kind of discussion that we need to have after we get the money, if we get any. Because at this point, I mean, $75 a month extra on top of all the monthly thing that we are paying. So maybe Charles could be in charge of the liaison with this person. And since you seem to be the one who wants to add or make the changes more than me, for example. So maybe say by the second meeting, we decide what we want the changes, you turn in the list, and he will make the changes. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Then I'll make my comments, my final comments, I guess. I like Lucia's idea because I think it's like, it'll save you time, Charles. It's more efficient, cost effective, because like I said, you run into things that you just had no idea. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Charles. So sometimes things can be very time consuming and frustrating when it comes to computers. So I think Lucia's idea is a good idea. Again, Lucia?
Yes. To finalize that, in fact, I think it's better. I think it's more cost efficient, as you said, rather than getting more training sessions from James, which will cost, rather than using more time of Charles, who is already involved in a lot of work. Wait until we get the money. I mean, the website is okay the way it is right now. It's not something that we need to do in this very moment. Let's wait until we know for sure that if we get a little money, or if we don't get the money, but I mean, if we thought, I mean, I'm willing, to put in some money. Maybe I put in $20 a month, somebody 10, and pay this person for 1 hour to make all the changes that we want to make. I think that's much better solution. Thank you for listening. And I'm done, really.
So I think we're done with this topic. I don't think we need to make any motions or anything.
Karen has her hand up.
Go ahead.
I think before we go on this, I think that maybe Charles needs to talk to James and make sure that he would be willing to do a couple hours, an hour, 2 hours work a month, and would be satisfied with doing that for us. And then we really need to wait for the money. And then after those two things are pretty well known, then we could actually make a motion and move forward on it, I think.
Great comments, Karen. He could probably do it himself. And if not, he can refer us to somebody.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Old business.
All right, then Charles will get in touch with him, I'm sure. Next on old business, we got curb gutters and sidewalks task force. Charles?
So we had a meeting last week, and it was, so right now what's happening is there's sort of a dance going on between SLO Council of Governments and County Public Works. The metaphor I've used is it's sort of like somebody's throwing a party and people are kind of standing back, seeing if the cool people are going to come to the party before they decide to come to the party, right? Or if somebody brought a lot of food to the party, so they don't have to bring much food to the party. And I think that it's going to work out. A new variable is Jonathan Katz, who is the executive director of Safe Routes Partnership, who is a nonprofit organization that is funded to provide outreach to communities like ours who are applying for active transportation program grants. And the main focus is on safe routes to schools. And so there are meetings going on right this week between the Council of Governments, Public Works, and Safe Routes to School and Lucia Mar School District. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna get that finalized and be able to move forward. Final note on this is that October 6th is the monthly meeting of SLOCOG. It's 9:30 in the morning, and I have sent out a letter to the three main organizations and asking if it would be, or raising the question of, would it be helpful to have local residents attend that meeting and during public comment express their strong desire to see safe routes to schools in our community, curb gutters and sidewalks that go along with that. And if that would be helpful to move SLOCOG along. Remember, SLOCOG includes every county supervisor, representatives from every incorporated town, and there's, I think, representatives from some community services districts. So they're the people that are deciding, and so I'll let you know, and I may be asking for people to come and speak. That's curb gutters and sidewalks for September 16th.
Thank you, Charles.
16 de septiembre. I can't say September in Spanish, but it's a Mexican holiday, right?
Septiembre 16.
September.
Día de la Independencia. Mexican Independence Day today.
Mhm. Sheila has her hand up. Unmute.
Hi, Sheila. You're muted, Sheila, I think.
There we go. Can you send me a blurb for the newsletter of the curbs, gutters, and sidewalks?
Yes, I will. I won't include any of this information, though. This is just between us and everybody watching this.
Well, just an overall, that's all.
Alrighty.
Okay, thank you.
Any more comments on this topic? Being none, thank you, Charles. That was a great report. Can't wait to see this happen. Next, we have did anyone say something? The Pierre Avenue Task Force, and who wants to start discussion on this? We got the letter, right? Go ahead, Lucia.
Yes, so I just want to confirm, I'm sorry I did not have time today to read that finalized letter. So I will make a point to read it tonight. So then we need to start to maybe having some of us who are we need to start this task force. And it starts with appointing or volunteering 1, 2, 3, anybody who wants to take on this particular task and put in more energy than in the usual council. The council has become so demanding, and there is so much work to be done. So we needed to, I would like to volunteer to be in this committee. Like, it's a committee of the council that will form the task force, which will include people. So the first thing we need to do is in my opinion, to appoint and volunteer whoever wants to take this on, have a meeting apart from the council, and start making a list of who we want to involve and who we want to contact, and how we start. Thank you.
Go on, Charles.
Okay.
Charles?
The, I think the letter makes requests of state parks. And I think we put a end of September date on that. And and it's been a week since we decided to send that. So if there's less time allowed for their response. I agree that we need to get the task force up and going. It's, I think the process is somewhat similar to curbs, gutters, and sidewalks. It's who are the major players, and they're pretty easy to identify. I mean, the decision makers are not us. The decision makers are state parks, county government, and the coastal commission. And then the other stakeholders. I mean, like the Chumash, and community input. So that, I think that's what we're looking at, and I would always notify VACO, but so they know that there's a meeting going on, and we've covered our base, that they know about it if they want to participate. But I agree, we need to get going. And that would be another web page, a website page specifically for the Pier Avenue Task Force and documents. Okay, thank you.
Karen?
No, excuse me, I had my hand up before Karen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just for protocol, Karen. Well, I would like to hear what the other members have about my idea of appointing and volunteering as somebody to do some thinking about this. Because I don't think the Coastal Commission should be involved at this point. I think that when the projects are thought of and when they're done on paper, then whoever needs to contact the Coastal Commission for the project will do it. But to have the Coastal Commission in the task force, I don't think it's necessary. However, not to take the council time, that's why if we agree on somebody who sits down and discusses this thoroughly, I very much like the idea of the Chumash, yes. Even though, let's remember, so yeah, I would like I would like to make a motion eventually, but I want to talk about this more, that we make a committee of our council first, and then the committee starts the task force, and within the committee decisions are taken, because otherwise we're going to spend the council's time over and for too much. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia. Karen?
I have a problem with an advisory committee forming a task force that they have control over. And I think it should be a whole separate entity, because I don't know how where the task force gets the standing. I may be way wrong, but I don't know where the advisory committee gets the standing to form a task force. An ad hoc committee, yeah, but I don't understand the mechanisms of this, which can come back and bite this committee really strongly. So I just want to understand how it's going to be put together, whether it's going to be an independent organization or it's going to be an ad hoc committee from this organization. And you guys are doing it. I got a fire battle to fight.
Charles?
So I think it's that question of a subcommittee or a task force that's, in my mind, simply a semantic
Right.
issue, and it's really not that relevant. I think that the advisory council recognizes that it has no authority. All we have is some prestige and maybe capacity to influence. So just using the model of curb gutters and sidewalks, we have that, well, I brought together, talked to and got representatives from the organizations that are making the decisions to buy into the concept of curb gutters and sidewalks. And, with the support of the council. And now it's off and running. And, and we have a job, we as a council, and that's to participate in community engagement, which is our job. So we have our lane, and other groups have their lanes, and some of them overlap. And I would think that would be the model we'd use for the Pure Avenue task force.
Yeah.
Although we already have another group, VACO, who says that they're interested in it as well. We didn't have any other group saying they wanted to do curb gutters and sidewalks. So that's a little different issue. And I'm not sure what, Lucia, you mean by that the task force has the authority to make decisions and don't take time of the advisory council, if I understood you correctly.
Go ahead, Lucia.
Well, yeah, I don't even understand what a task force literally means, but I do understand what it is because it has been working. And to clarify Karen's doubts, basically a task force, the way I see it and the way it ended up with the curbs and sidewalks, is a meeting. It's the encounter of people who are stakeholders, who have the authority and have something to say about this project. So I envision a group of people that includes, obviously, county government, as Charles said, the Chumash, if they want to participate, VACO, because is represents some people in Oceano, the council, and state parks, because state parks is a stakeholder on Pure Avenue. So, and this group of people come together to decide how they want to see Pure Avenue, what they want to do with Pure Avenue, what their input, what would they like to see, what's their vision, what can they do to make changes. It's not going to be, of course, it's going to be a completely different, it's not going to be an organization. It's going to be a meeting of people who want to work on this project, who have to work on this project because we need those changes to happen. And let's call it a task force. Let's call it a task force. It means a group of people who are working on that project, stakeholders, the community. And the community, I imagine the OBCA, I imagine VACO, I imagine the council, and anybody private who wants to be involved, and the business people and all of those. And they won't decide anything, but they will talk about how to make things happen. Now, what I was talking about is to have a couple of people from our council who will go to those meetings, because just like not everybody from the council goes to the curbs and gutters. Charles is pretty much in charge of that. And other, well, not really, but no, we all can go. But I mean, he's really the one who's taken this to heart. So I would like a couple of people from the council to take that to heart and make it their project so that they can spend a lot of energy in that, writing letters to it. We should write letters to everyone individually also. Make sure that we get be on top of it. We need a couple of people from the council who are on top of this. The council is involved with too much work. It can't be spent, it can't be on top of everything, on top, on top. So that's all. It's an idea. Thank you for listening.
Yes, Karen?
But you need some kind of structure. You need some kind of chairperson. You're gonna need some kind of budget. You need some kind of treasurer.
For
There's
what?
all kinds of things you're gonna need if you're gonna organize a task force. You need people with assigned jobs. You just can't go off and we're all gonna come together and do what? Talk. I know, it's gotta go beyond just talking. So you have to have some structure to it. That's what I'm looking at, is the structure. Thank you.
Any more discussion?
Charles's hand is up. I agree that, yeah, definitely it needs a structure. And I think that that's something that the people there can communicate about at the initial meeting, what that structure looks like, because they know their own organizational rules better than anybody on this council knows their rules. And this is not, the curb gutters and sidewalks has no treasurer, no budget. That's not, it's all volunteer labor and we have no money. So, you know, it's the $16 million is coming from the state and the federal government and the Council of Governments and
Yeah.
the county public works and others are doing the work to put it together. The same thing would happen with the Pure Avenue Task Force.
Okay.
And I do think that the Coastal Commission should be invited to participate.
Yes, Lucia?
Well, to kind of bring this to conclusion in my mind, not for everyone, is let's wait and see what, the next step is to see this meeting happening with the county planning and state parks at our request. That will be our first encounter of I don't know what, in which we as the state, as at least a part of the community, we make our requests, which are more parking on Pure Avenue, handicapped for right, in which we will make, our requests, short terms and long terms. And I guess that will be the first meeting of the task force. Of maybe we need to find another name. It will be the first meeting of the stakeholder. It will be a stakeholders meeting for the remaking of Pure Avenue. Just like state parks had the stakeholders meeting for their plan, so we can have a stakeholders meetings for the remaking of Pure Avenue to get ready for this change. So I think that if we need to be on top and let's read this letter tonight. Karen and I, we were the ones who wanted to take a last look at it, and let's send it out tomorrow. Charles is right, time is running out. And then let's be on top that this meeting happens. And then when that meetings happen, I guess we will resume this conversation and see who's gonna go, what we're gonna say, and basically what we're gonna say. That's why I was thinking of a committee rather than the whole council meeting again. But we will think about that then. So for right now, I would say that the most important thing is that to make this meeting happen as soon as we can and be on top of that. And then that would be the first step. Thank you.
I don't see anybody else's hand up.
Just a quick
Oh, there
question.
you are, Charles.
What do you mean, Lucia? I just want to make sure I understand. What do you mean by be on top of it?
Be on top of, excuse me. Be on top of it means that obviously I'm not on top of everything. For example, I know that April is on top of the ordinance. She does extra work. She keeps us informed. She does research. She's on top of it. She knows what's going on. You are on top of the GURBS gutters because you give extra work, and we can't all be on top in that way with every single topic.
Mhm.
So because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So and I'm not even sure I want to be the one on top of this. Maybe we don't need one. As like for Ryan, but just to answer your question, on top means us that we take to heart and we commit ourselves to do extra work, because there is so much to do in the council that I feel very spread out. But it's good that people take some topics, some issues to heart, and they work harder them. So that's all for right now. Let's all be on top of it. Let's make this meeting happen. Let's keep informed. That's all I mean, Charles.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? I don't see any hands up. So I just want to have some final comments. And that is that I think I agree with Lucia that we probably don't need to pick a committee, task force or whatever, how we name it. I agree with that. Doesn't really matter. Task force is more just that we're coming together. But I think it gives us, like, once this letter is out and we have a response and we go to the first meeting, and it'll give us a chance to think about who is going to be the person on top of it, like Lucia says, because it is going to be very time consuming, and we have to be on top of it, like Lucia says, constantly. We do a lot as a council, but this will be more an extra responsibility, kind of like what Charles is doing. And thank you, Charles, because you spend a lot of time, you put a lot of effort, and so we really, if you're going to take this on, you have to have all the time and effort and not feel like it's too spread out or too stressed. So thank you so much, Charles. I know you're putting a lot of your time and effort. So
Yep.
I think we're done with this topic. Hopefully we'll get a response. We'll get the letter out and we'll get a response soon. Next, we got the beautification award. I don't know. Karen was going to look into, see if she had some, I guess, documents on how they went about it in the past. I don't know if you had time. It's only been a week and the week flies by, Karen, right?
Yeah, I've kind of run into a brick wall on that.
Oh, okay.
That's,
Yeah, well, if you need more time, that's
no,
fine.
it's not gonna go anywhere the way I thought it could go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Documents are in somewhere.
Right, that's correct.
Not to be found. Okay. Well, since I guess we could just continue putting it on the on our agenda.
Sheila.
I have
Go
my
ahead.
hand.
Sheila.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Sheila.
This is on the beautification. I have a hospice patient and her son, whose daughter does graphic arts. And so they're supposed to get back to me on what and how much, what we could do. So I'll get back more on it, but I have inquired about that.
Thank you, Sheila.
I didn't understand. Please, Sheila.
Well, I can't speak any louder than I'm speaking.
Okay.
Okay. My hospice patient, her son's daughter is a graphic artist. And so we are going to I'm checking in with him and her to find out how much it would cost to do a beautification sign, as well as get something up that we can print out our own documents.
Thank you, Sheila.
Okay. get back to
More
you.
discussion on this?
Well,
Go ahead, Lucia.
yeah, well, it sounds like it all takes a lot of money, of course. And but to start this project, I don't see, do we, let's think of a way that we don't need to spend a lot of money. Just make a flyer, put it on our website, start it, or put it on our Facebook, or say, I don't know. I'm just brainstorming, and I will think about this myself. All it takes is to, you know, for now. I mean, things don't have to be perfect to make them happen. Things get perfect and better as we work them. We can have a very simple flyer without much pictures, that is very simple, that says beautification award to be given. First beautification award to be given for November, maybe the best yard, or I don't know, excuse me. That's all I want to say. Thank you for listening and for your patience.
Any more discussion on this? Okay, so I'll just continue putting it on our agenda, and then we could be thinking about how we want to go about it and who wants to design the poster, or I mean flyer, just to announce it, because announcing it, we can do that way before we figure out what the award's gonna look like and all that.
Mhm.
All righty. Next on the agenda, we have the correspondence. And I did attach the letter, and I think most of you saw it because I did email it out. I think I emailed it out twice. That I did send a letter saying, sorry, we cannot accept your donation. You know, and I gave a small explanation and of why, and a short explanation, I mean, and also, you know, again, closed it by saying how appreciative and that we want to continue a positive relationship with them. And then also, April did receive the check, which she did send us copies of the check, and also sent us bank reconciliation, bank statement, and she even took a picture of the of the envelope of from, you know, that she was returning back the check. So thank you, April, for all that. And I linked those things up below her treasurer's report. So they are there for the public to see, or for you to see. What other correspondence? Well, the other correspondence are still like in the Pier Avenue, and the other letter are in the gonna be sent out, right?
As soon as they're finalized.
Yes. Okay, so anybody else want to make a comment on? And I haven't been saying public comment. I don't see, we do have Bonnie, Kevin here. So at this time, I want, does anybody have any public comment for anything that I've been, for any of the topics? Yes. Also, yeah, nope. See no hands being raised. I don't see any hands being raised. I guess there's no public comment. So we will continue. Does anybody from our council want to say anything about this correspondence? Any further discussion on the correspondence? Don't see any hands raised, so we'll continue. Oh, there we go, Karen. And I guess April, or is this April just, okay, Karen.
Thank you, April, for all the work you did on that. You're the most efficient treasurer I know.
Karen, April even sent a picture of the actual envelope.
Yeah, I've worked with fair political practices. You do that. You do that.
Oh, I didn't know that was a requirement.
Well, it's not really a requirement. It's just.
But it's good practice.
It's good business. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I guess we're done with this topic now.
Yeah, and April have their hands up.
I raised my hand, Chair, and actually I wanted to give kudos to Aline, the chair, for also all the wonderful job you're doing. The letter was good. The letter is excellent, and I'm very happy that you put in that we can't accept donations from the Democratic Party, but be happy to accept personal private donations. I thought that was really cool.
Well, that was a great that was a great add-on. Sheila
yeah,
gave
great,
me,
great.
assurance on.
And I agree, April is a great resource to our council. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, we
Thank
all are. Everybody here is. It's like I am just like I have so much respect for each and every one of you for all the time and commitment that you put in for our community. So that needs to be said. We need to each, raise everybody up and
Group hug.
thank everybody.
Group hug.
Yeah, group hug. Thank you. We have the next on our agenda.
April's hand is up.
Okay, April.
I just wanted to say thank you to Karen for what she had said. That was all. Thank you.
Okay. Now we have the updates. So our next item, we have, as you know, I did send out the email. So most of you, I got input from most of you, I believe. We did get a response back from the chamber. Unfortunately, I did not send a copy of the response because it was via telephone. It was a telephone conversation. And basically in my email, I just said the gist of the conversation, which is she stated that our mission did not hurt the board, voted on this and felt that our mission did not, was not on par with their mission. So therefore, they didn't think that we would be a good match for chamber membership. In other words, our missions are too different, and I guess it's not beneficial for an agency that has conflicting objectives or goals to be part of the same organization. So that was her reasoning. So we were denied membership to the chamber. That's my update on that. I don't think I have.
Sheila's hand is up.
Sheila, go ahead.
My question is, so if we were denied, is VACO a member of the chamber? And if so, what was their mission? I just don't want to be discriminated against.
I did not ask that question, and I cannot answer it because I don't know if VACO, the actual group, is part of the chamber or not. I know that many of their members are already chamber members.
Okay, that would be a good question to ask them. If VACO is a member, and what was their mission? It just posed the question.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I will
Okay.
do that.
April and Lucia have their hands up.
Go ahead, April.
Hey there, I just wanted to, I was gonna say the separate, but since Sheila had what she said and you agreed to it, I would really like to ask personally, and as a member of this organization that was denied, how Natural Healing Center that's owned by Helios Dayspring and has federal charges against them and bribed county officials follows the model that is acceptable for the chamber to take as a member, but the Oceano Advisory Council, which is for the residents of Oceano, is not in alignment with their policies, decisions, procedures. I don't know, but I'm unclear as to how one with federal charges against them is applicable, but the OAC, which is a non-political, non-issue agency, is not. And yet they also had South County Advisory Council as a chamber member, which has the exact same mission that we have. So I'm unclear as to how this happened, but I don't expect that you, Aline, can answer for them. And I don't think you should. But if you're going to ask, then that's the questions that I would have as well.
If I don't know if I'll ask this, when I'm gonna ask, or if I should ask in a letter or not, I'll be thinking about that. But I mean, I just think that asking yeah, I just think whatever answer we get back, unfortunately, is not going to suffice us, because in reality, it's not going to be a genuine, sincere answer, because I just don't think the first answer was, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you. That's
I just don't
exactly we need to.
I just don't see how our mission is so deviated from their mission, or what is wrong with our mission. I think that was maybe she had a difficult time stating the real reason. So I don't even know if I even want to ask her any questions. I will, like you said, what you suggested, but I will ask about Baco. Lucia?
It's my turn, thank you. Yeah, the bigger question is, are we even going to answer? And do we need to even answer? And I read what Karen wrote when you first asked that question. You said, Alina, are we gonna give a reply? And Karen said, it makes no difference. Whatever we ask, whatever we get back, is not making any difference. It's just gonna exasperate the situation. It's just gonna make us more hateful to them and make them more hateful to us. Personally, that didn't break my heart. I could care less to be part of the chamber. I think I don't want to make it an ego situation. I don't want to make it a principal situation. They don't want us. Forget it. I would say to ignore it, not to ask anything, because we're just going to make
Not
it
even the
worse.
Baco? You're saying not even the
No, just say nothing. Just say thank you, received, or something like that. Thank you for your reply.
I did that on the phone.
Thank you. And leave it at that. Leave it at that. I vote against, if it comes to that, to not answering whatsoever. However, I do believe that it needs to be made public. And as a private citizen, I am going to write a letter to the editor, because all of those questions do need to be put out there, and they needed to be answered, and they need to be uncovered, that we are being discriminated against, not in an ugly, sour way, as I usually am. I try to be kind, but I think that a few letters from private citizens to say, look, our council is doing great work, gets no recognition, while, and then we need to figure out, and then I'd like to, what April said. So maybe I'll get together with April and she can share her good information. I'm good at writing letter to the editors, just 250 words that they usually get published. So I think that it needs a response, but not as a council, not as a council. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia. And before I get to Charles, I just wanted to let the council know and assure you that the conversation via telephone, I basically, in other words, in my words, I said a lot of what Lucia said, that basically I was disappointed but not surprised. And I basically told her that I didn't, myself believe it was right, that I believe it was, those were the real reasons in my interview with the board, I said were personal. So I understand if there's personality issues with some of your board members, with some of my council members, but I cannot control, I repeated what I said in my meeting. I cannot control other people's First Amendment rights. I cannot control other individuals. And I can only, speak for the council as a whole and speak for myself. And that's what I did on the telephone conversation.
And that's it.
Charles?
I agree that we have nothing to gain by responding to it. And I do not support at all, Lucia, you writing a letter on all of these topics to the Chamber of Commerce.
No.
It will be, no, not at all. It will be coming, it will sound like it's coming from the Oceano Advisory Council. And if I would suggest that if you and April want to get together a letter and then find somebody else to write it that's not a member of the council, that would be the way to go about it. I do not think it's appropriate for a member of the council to write the letter. And we will, I think that any of this that will get played out will be played out in VACO meetings, which I want to remind everybody is September 21st now, if they don't delay it again. But that's where some of these, kind of relevant issues, not to the chamber, but can be raised in terms of, what is our mission? Obviously, if our mission is Pier Avenue and curbs, gutters, and sidewalks and vacation ordinances and protecting Oceano's economy and building it bigger and all of that, of course they're not. That isn't what it's about. It's about they don't like that April Drury wrote a bad review of food at Old Juan's Cantina. And I asked questions about the methodology of a economic impact analysis study. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that's my thought on it.
So, Charles, I just wanted to make one correction there. Lucia did not say she wanted to write a letter to the Commerce, she said letter to the editor. You don't
Right,
want any of that.
about what happened at what the chamber did and taking
Yes.
the task on it. I do not think that's appropriate.
And then Karen's next, I believe.
No,
Karen?
I'm next. So yes, I want to, no, I'm not going to write a letter to the chamber. So now I cannot write a letter to the editor either. I mean,
He's not saying you can't.
I don't think that you should. I think it will reflect very badly on us.
But now, wait a minute. Now you made your own statements. I'm sorry. Forgive me. April makes her own statements about French fries. You make your own statements about the impact, and you didn't care whatever it did look bad on the council. Now, why can't I write, as Lucia Castellanova, a letter to the editor, a nice letter, saying that I feel like the council is being discriminated against? I mean, now you are impeding on my first right amendment.
And no one can, Lucia. So can we hear Karen, because she's had her hand up for a bit?
Yes.
Okay. That's fine, your First Amendment right. It's kind of like me on other issues. But you're always going to be representing this organization. It doesn't matter if it's just you and you say it's just you, you're still talking about the organization of which you are a member. So that's why it would be unwise.
Yeah, I hear
As you're just bringing more, you're bringing more negativism than positivism to it. And the other thing is VACO is meeting the 28th because
God.
Linda Austin fell and broke her left arm in 3 places. And she's the president of the group, and she was hosting the meeting at the depot. And she's in lots of pain and really got hurt bad. So
Sorry to hear.
anyway, so the meeting has been moved to the 28th, and I only know because I'm on that group too. Okay, thank you.
All right, Charles?
Yeah, just to clarify, the letter that I wrote to the Slow Tourist Board was written as a private citizen, as a sociologist, and had really nothing to do with Oceano Advisory Council. And it wasn't an issue involving the Oceano Advisory Council. I mean, a controversial issue like this chamber is. I'm telling you, I do not think it's in our interest to have any member write a letter that's going to be critical of what's going on.
Okay. But no one is impinging on your First Amendment rights, Lucia. No one controls anyone. And Charles is giving you his opinion, and he's stating that he doesn't think it's a good idea, and Karen also agreed, echoed it. And I'm kind of agreeing that it's not very beneficial. I don't think it would solve anything. I mean, I don't know.
They don't care what we think.
Yes.
Yeah,
I hear you, and I absolutely understand. And that's a difficult situation to be in. It's a difficult situation to be in because I've always been a very outspoken of Oceano. I've written on many issues, and but now I have been, of course, now even when I go to the county, to the board of supervisor, I speak more as a council than as of the OBCA. So I've been thinking about that, and I'm aware of the fact that, of course, I am equated with the council and the OBCA. But I hear you, and I will give it some due consideration. Thank you.
All right, any more discussion on this? Being none, we'll go on to, I guess we're down to, I don't think there's any more updates. We're down to the treasurer's report. April?
Hey there. Okay, I'm unmuted. I have a quick question. I'm going to move my camera to show you what it looked like when I received it on the agenda versus what it looks like when I sent it as a PDF, just to make sure maybe my stuff is looking wrong. So let me go to it. Give me 1 second. Sorry. I know this is kind of crazy, but oops, sorry. So this is what this looks like to me on what you sent me. But that is not at all what the bank statement looks like. So is that what it looks like to everybody else in their document?
What?
The way that's like, it says ASESLOC, that's not what it looks like on the statement. That this is in yellow that I can barely read. That's not on the statement. The whole outline, the way this statement looks, that the way it came through is on Aline's agenda. When I click that link, that's not what it looks like. So I think that maybe we need to figure out a way to make this more presentable for people. Another case in point is when you look at the actual bank statement. I'm sorry, that's the bank statement. When you look at what I sent as the picture of the check and the envelope, this is what it looks like on the agenda, but that is not what I sent at all. It doesn't look like that. There's no actual image in there. So that needs to be addressed. But going back to it, everything in my report is in those links that Aline sent. So
I did notice that, April, that it doesn't look like it, and I don't understand why it doesn't look like it.
It doesn't, and I rechecked my email to make sure it wasn't what I sent you. Would look like
you
that.
didn't.
Yeah,
You
and
sent me. You sent it to me. You sent it to me on email, and from email, I put it on Google Docs, and I guess when it went on Google Docs, it looked decent. Then when it exported PDF style to the drive, and then opens up, it looks different. I don't understand.
I
Maybe
just wanted
because
to bring it all to your attention that probably needs to be cleaned up or figured out a way to make it better. Everything that would be my report is in those documents. There's nothing left to say unless anyone has questions.
Does anybody have any questions for April?
No.
Any comments?
No.
Does everybody understand everything? It just looks different, but I mean, were you able to see it? Okay, so I guess we're done with this topic now, and we're
Charles, has his hand up. Can you see
Oh.
his up, Alina?
Charles, go ahead.
Well, is the fundraising a separate article? It is. So I was going to raise it right now if it isn't on the agenda. I'm wondering who is heading up fundraising, putting together a fundraising pitch.
I don't think we've decided on, we thought fundraising was easy, but I don't think we voted or decided on who's gonna do a pitch or,
Well,
Right.
I think that's important that we get going on it. And this may be not the time to finish it off, but I would say offline that 2 or 3 people get together and come up with a concept for fundraising, online fundraising. And I'll be happy to participate in that. I'm not
okay,
gonna lead it though.
yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll send out an email like on who wants to participate or help with that. Because we're gonna run out of funds soon. We don't raise money, right? Who knows when this money's coming?
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic, but it just seems like we don't know how long this is gonna take. Okay, thank you, April, for all the documents, and I have, like I said, I did notice that, and I have no idea how to fix it. I don't know how to link it to put it over to Google Docs. When I put it over to Google Docs, it's fine. It's when I export it to the drive that I export it as a PDF, and maybe that's why it reads it. It can't go from one language to the PDF without distorting it.
Could we not spend meeting time on this?
I'm trying to explain it. Yeah, I feel like I have to justify myself, but yeah. Okay, so then we have the Oceano Beach Community Association.
The Oceano Beach Community Association? That's what you said?
Yes, the report.
Okay, then yes, the Oceano Beach Community Association will host the Creek to Beach to Ocean cleanup on Saturday at 10 o'clock. So, which means that people can sign up online for the closest location to their homes, and they will show up. The Oceano Beach Community Association will have a booth and kits to distribute with the supplies. We meet at 10 o'clock Saturday on Pier Avenue by State Park's campground. A lot of people already signed up. They usually are a great success. The one we did 2-3 years ago, there were, oh my gosh, dozens of people. So I hope to see you all there. The Oceano Beach Community Association also did a really good flyer. Bonnie and I worked on a new flyer for clams, and they will be laminated and they will be made available also at the booth for people to take and use it to educate people on the beach. We just invite you to be there. That's all for us. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Charles.
Would you be interested in some bumper stickers that are sidewalks para Oceano?
Who did the OBCA?
Yes.
Have you printed out those, just interrupting here, have you printed them out already?
Or they're on their way.
Oh, they're gonna be printed?
They've been printed, they're on their way.
Okay.
Excuse me, Charles, I don't understand your question. If we are interested in how is this related to the Saturday event? You would
Yeah, you're gonna have a table. I said, would you like some bumper stickers for the
Absolutely, yes,
say
yes, yes.
sidewalks para Oceano.
Yes, to have that on the table, absolutely, yes.
Sidewalks for Oceana, yeah.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Charles, for doing those. Next, we have the,
April has her hand up.
yeah, okay, April. I'm bad with the hands. I need to.
Oh, I thought Charles was assisting you, so that's, I keep looking towards him, but
Oh, I guess
don't know what's
we
happening.
get like, yeah, when he comments, he gets a little sidetracked. It's, yeah, we need to work on the hands, especially I do. Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
I wanted to confirm or understand better this, the stickers, the bump, whatever you call them. The last I saw in a meeting or in the emails flying through was that you had asked Charles if we were interested in it. So my question is, did discussion happen that I wasn't aware of, or did you guys just decide on your own that it says it and it doesn't say OAC on it? What happened?
Well, I sent out the question. We discussed it in the last meeting. I sent out a proof, and 2 people said that they liked it and nobody else said anything.
Well, I can tell you, I never saw it. We didn't make this decision at the last meeting. I don't know any
I
other
didn't
than.
say I didn't say we made a decision at the last meeting.
Well, you
but
said it was
discussed.
discussed at the last meeting. I'm sorry if I misrepresented that. I don't recall it at the last meeting. The first I recall ever knowing anything about it was an email that happened recently. And that's the last I knew anything. And to hear now that there are, and I don't care if there are, if it doesn't say OAC on them, I'm just curious, is that what happened? Do they just not say OAC on them then?
Okay, I sent out the proof, and the proof says oceanoadvisorycouncil.org on it.
Okay, can we have a show of hands of who all received this proof?
Who saw it?
Yeah,
I saw it, but the bumper sticker, yes, I did. And I received the email.
so anybody else raise their hand to say that they saw this?
I saw the bumper sticker. I didn't say anything. I didn't think I was required to say anything. I'm sorry.
So Karen, did you see the bumper sticker?
No, but.
And
I-
Sheila, did you see the bumper sticker? You're muted, Sheila.
Sheila, you're muted.
I know. Okay, okay, you derailed my thought process. Okay, I saw it on email. It was, we didn't have a discussion. It was an email, and Charles sent out a proof.
Okay, then I'm not going to rescind. I had an honest question, so that clarifies it. I didn't see it and Karen didn't see it, but that's a board majority regardless. I just didn't know we were making these decisions offline. That's all. If I had known that there was an actual, like a mock-up and all that, then I would have. I never saw it, so I
Yeah.
apologize.
It might have gone in your spam. Sometimes that happens to me for some reason. Okay. So are we done with this discussion?
Now, I want to say something that this shows me, if I have your permit to speak, Alina,
Yeah.
something that I would like to put on the agenda. We need to find a better way to communicate. There is just this email, Google mail, chains of emails. So I would like, I have an idea that I remind me to share with everybody.
Okay. And you could, I'll do my best to remind you, and you could also request to put it on the next agenda.
Yes.
Okay. So is it my turn now? The Oceano Beach, the Oceano Community Service District. Okay, I didn't get to give my report last time because our meeting went on and on and on, and we haven't met since our last meeting, but so I'll give you the report I didn't give. The gist of the meeting, there was a short meeting, and right now we're a minute above our time here. So could I have someone motion really quick for another, let's make it 3 minutes. Can we keep it in 3 minutes?
I so move.
Okay, second. All
Me,
those in favor?
I second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We'll go, I'll try to stop before 7:20.
5 more minutes.
I'll try to stop. Do my best. Okay, it was a short meeting, so I think, what is it? We agreed to public facility, yeah, we voted to accept the public facilities annual report. And the gist of the meeting to me was the fact that there was an alternate that could have been accepted to the IWMA from our district, which had been Cynthia Rapogo. Unfortunately, the board denied her acceptance, so I don't know who's going to be the alternate there now. That was the highlight of the meeting for me. I don't know if Karen wants to add something to it. She was there. So yeah, it was a very short and sweet meeting. Any questions? Any public comment on any of the reports? Any of the council member reports and officer reports? Being none, I could, do we have anything that we want to put on the next agenda?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
And I do want to put on the agenda that the Ocean Advisory Council sets up an account with Slack, which is a very easy app that the Oceana Beach Community Association has been using since inception, 2.5 years, 3 years. It is a communication workspace. I know how to set up the account, and we can all, and all the information is going to be there. There is no need of emails. I'm just kind of being overwhelmed with emails. Sometimes I miss them. Sometimes I don't read them in the chains, they get buried. So I will give you more information about that, but I assure you that it's the easiest thing in the world. I will all set up. I'll send everyone an invitation and you're in. All you have to do is click it on your, already Sheila uses it, Alina uses it, I use it, Charles is in it, but doesn't use it. But it is, so let's discuss it next time.
Okay, you can request to put that on the agenda and I'll do my best if there's not a lot of things overwhelming.
I want to
on the
put on the
agenda,
agenda.
to put it on there and then we could discuss it and vote on it because it's something that needs to be discussed and voted. Okay.
I'd like to get the fundraising on the agenda.
Fundraising, yes. Okay. That's, yeah, definitely needed.
And Karen.
Karen, go ahead.
Pure
Karen,
Avenue,
go ahead.
Pure Avenue Task Force.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay, is that it? Can I have someone motion and us complete the time under 7:20 to adjourn the meeting?
I so move.
I motion that we adjourn this wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Second.
Karen seconds. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good meeting. Thank you.
Everyone behaved. I did. I hope so. Bye.
Bye.